Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're in the kitchen again today, and today we are going to make garlic butter baguettes. These are delicious and absolutely a favorite around here. So what we need for this recipe is we need some bread dough. I made this bread dough myself, but you can buy it. You can use any bread dough you like. I'm using just my regular white bread dough. I will link to the video where I made this recipe. But you can use anything you like. If you like whole wheat, or you like pizza dough, or you like sourdough, whatever you like. Just know if you're working with sourdough, your rise time will be significantly longer. But I'm just working with a regular white dough. So my white dough recipe has 3 cups of flour to it. So that's roughly the amount of dough you want. Cut it into 4. Okay? 4 roughly equal pieces. They do not have to be perfect, just roughly. We don't need perfection, just deliciousness. You won't need that anymore to cut any more dough. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our dough and we're going to make it kind of an oval. Okay, so it's not a circle. We don't want a flat circuit. We want an oval, kind of a long oval. You don't need to be too specific. How wide do you want it? Maybe 8 inches, maybe an 8-inch oval. Make it fairly thin, but maybe about 8 inches across. You don't need it huge. Now we need to make a filling. So we are going to need 3/4 of a cup of cheese. I'm just using a mozzarella cheddar mix because that's what I have in the fridge and that's what's delicious. And you also need 3/4 of a cup of garlic butter. Now I made this garlic butter, but you can buy your garlic butter or you can make it yourself. Again, I will post a link to the video where I made this garlic butter. Put that in with the cheese. All of it. Okay? Because we are making a filling for our baguettes. This recipe makes 4 baguettes. So now we are going to mix that cheese in with the butter. And yeah, it's a little annoying to mix butter in with cheese because it all kind of sticks to your fork. But just deal with it. Cut off the edge there. So you just mix that in until it's pretty evenly mixed, because you're going to need to take out 1/4 of that at a time. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our oval and we've got our filling. You're going to take basically what amounts to 1/4 of the filling. Okay, so your garlic butter and your cheese filling, and you're going to kind of push it onto here. Do not go right to the edges, okay? You do not want to go right to the edges. And then what you want to do here, pull this, pull this. You want your dough a little stickier, so don't use any flour. And then you're just going to pinch your ends. It's okay if your ends are pointy, that's what we want. Pinch your ends nice and tight so that nothing leaks out. Okay, nice and tight. Then we're just going to roll it. We're going to roll it until it is about the length of our cookie sheet. So I have my cookie sheet here, and we are going to lay them this way. So we want them about that long. See, that's not quite long enough. So we're just going to keep doing this till it's a little bit longer. And when you put it on the cookie sheet, you kind of want to spot where that seam is and put seam side down, okay? Seam side down. Set that one aside, and we're just going to do another one. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me do all of these because it takes a couple minutes, but you're going to repeat that exact same thing. So you're making an oval, filling it with cheese, sticking it all together, and giving it a roll until it's about as long as your cookie sheet. If you have little pokey ends, you can kind of push them in there. And you're just taking your filling and putting it in the middle. So we'll come back when I have stuffed all 4 of our little baguettes. All right, there are our baguettes. Now you can take a minute to kind of adjust their size and length if you like. Give them a bit of a pull, a bit of a push to straighten them, whatever you want to do to make them look decent. Now we need to slice our baguettes because we want to cut them before they rise so that they rise the way we want them to rise. If we just let them rise like this, they could puff out the side or whatever. They need to go for a rise cycle, but we want them to rise in our direction, in upward directions. Okay, up, up, up. So what we're going to do is I'm using a bread lane. You can use a really sharp knife, but you want to cut through this top layer. Okay, so you're going to take your lame, press it through. Watch your fingers because the lames are sharp. But you want to make sure you're all the way through to that cheesy layer. And you're going to do that 3 times. Make sure you can see the cheese. If you can't, keep going. There we go. So cut through that top layer. Can't see the cheese. Give it a couple more slices. Here we go. A little more. There we go. You just want to barely see that cheese. There we go. So that we know we're going through there. Okay, so it might take 2 slices. You might only need 1. It depends. Don't slice too deep. It's okay to go back and slice again rather than slice so deep that you've gone halfway through. Because remember, there's cheese filling in there. You don't want to cut through the cheese. You just want to reveal the cheese. So as soon as you see that hint of cheese, stop cutting. Okay? So it might only take 1 swipe. It might take more. Now we need to set these aside to rise. We are going to, I'm popping them in my microwave because that's how I rise things, because it keeps the cats off everything. And it also kind of contains the heat and humidity produced by these buns rising. But you don't have to do that. You can just grab yourself a clean tea towel, rest that clean tea towel over your buns, your baguettes, and you can come back in about 45 to 60 minutes when they have finished rising. So we're going to walk away and we'll come back in about an hour or so. All right, it's been almost an hour, so let's uncover these. They are looking pretty good. They're going to taste even better. So we're going to preheat our oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And while we're waiting for that to heat, we are going to take 1 egg, beat it up with your basting brush, and then just apply a light coating, not inside the gaps. Okay, so not inside where you sliced. You want to go on the outside of that. So just brush some egg on. Okay, just brush some egg on. Looking good. You want to preheat that oven 375 once again. Okay, that's important. We want these to bake thoroughly without burning. Okay. Go. Almost done this last one. There we go. Now, just to make them yum, we're going to take a little bit of coarse salt and sprinkle them on the top. Coarse salt does work best. You can use your regular sea salt. I'm using coarse sea salt. So you can just use a regular sea salt or a Himalayan if you like. But I do prefer a coarse salt, whether it's a sea salt or a Himalayan or a black salt, whatever. As long as it's a coarse, works better. You don't have to use coarse if you don't like coarse. But I do find this turns out better with a little bit of coarse salt on the top. There we go. Now we're going to pop it in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes or until it's golden brown and that cheese is oozing out of our gashes there. We'll come right back. And there we go. Garlic butter baguettes stuffed with a cheesy garlic butter mixture that is just absolutely delicious. These are a lot of fun. Make enough for the whole family because everyone's going to want at least one. That's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Don't bite down until that cheese is cooled or you'll burn your mouth. We'll see you tomorrow.